How do CRAs perceive site management organizations? If you are interested in this topic, watch this episode. Hi guys, it's David. Since the recent couple of episodes, I get more and more questions about practical aspects of the clinical trials. In the recent comments, I was asked about site management organizations and how CRAs approach or see the SMO structure. So in this episode, I'll be talking about my perspective or how I saw site management organization when I was CRA and how I saw site management organizations when I became a manager of site management organizations. So stay with me because this is super interesting topic. So when I was CRA back in 2015, I heard for the first time the word SMO and I was like, what the hell is this? So I got introduced to the site management organization on our phase 3 clinical trial for rheumatoid arthritis. So back then, when I heard SMO, I was a little bit surprised because I understood from the beginning that they are sort of an administrative support for the sites and principal investigators. And of course, as not that experienced CRA as I was before, and many other CRAs have the same perception, I was like, okay, this is unnecessary middleman for the sites and he will just take more additional budget, which is not necessary. Why should I work with some administrative organization who will support the site if the site can do this the same way? But I was wrong. Nevertheless, that I had a little bit negative expectations from the SMO, I gave the protocol to one SMO in Bulgaria and we started working. As the clinical trial started, I've started seeing the positive aspects of an administrative support in form of study coordinator at the site. When I had any issues, when I needed to collect documents, when I needed to immediately solve the queries, the study coordinator was there, I just pick up the phone and they responded to me immediately. So then, seeing the SMO at the beginning as unnecessary part of the site was not at the right spot, because throughout the study I started seeing the benefits of having a dedicated study coordinator who is working throughout the site management organization. And since 2015 I work with site management organizations almost in every phase 2 and phase 3 clinical trials. Having a study coordinator on site who is able to respond immediately to your calls, to your emails is huge benefit. And it's very time saving. So if you have to compare the price for site management organization and the time you will save, it's definitely worth it. So I would like to advise all my colleagues, CRAs, who are a little bit negative in terms of working with site management organizations, give it a try because it's a good thing. Also, another thing that is important about site management organization is to detect the proper site management organization, because as the whole industry of clinical trial is huge, also there are very different types of site management organizations. For example, I have seen my colleagues in Poland from Pratia who start making their own dedicated research facilities, which is practically a building where they do only their clinical trials with their dedicated teams, and they cover everything related to clinical trials. So practically you select site that is making only clinical trials. Yes, so this is a dedicated research unit, and in model such as Pratia is using, it looks very interesting and efficient. Then there are more popular and more vast site management organizations which are working centrally. This is very popular, for example, in Bulgaria or in Slovakia and Czech Republic, where the site management organization, they have one base, one office, and they are sending out study coordinators to the research sites. So for example, there is a coordinator in Slovakia, in Bratislava, or in Sofia, Bulgaria, and they work with a site that is close approximately 150 or 200 kilometers. These dedicated study coordinators are planning every single monitoring visit. They travel to the site, they perform the whole day activities with 1, 2 or 3 patients, depends on how they can plan the whole schedule. They perform the visits, prepare all the documentation, and then they come back to Sofia or to the main office. This model is efficient, but in terms of the site management coordinator, it is a little bit time consuming because they have to travel quite a lot. However, I started working with exactly this kind of site management organization, and despite that they were traveling a lot, they were able to provide the necessary support I was expecting. So again, it's very good. The third model I would like to mention is the one from the structure where I was manager. So I was working back in 2018 in IRN, International Research Network. This is still one of the largest site management organizations, and they operate across 19 countries. However, the problem I have observed and I want to share with you is that if you are a site management organization and you are about to start playing it big, you are going to have the problem with the micromanagement. For me, the biggest challenge was to observe and to have under microscope all the activities that were happening in every single country where we were dedicated. It is very challenging, and many times you lose or you are not aware of some important tasks. So in terms of working with SMOs, I still see that there is a lot of space to improve. I'm not saying that working with big international SMO is a bad thing. I'm just saying that you should be aware of their operations. The reason for that is that the organization in a large multinational SMO has to be more precise rather than the small SMO. Also, the biggest difference is that the big international SMOs, they are not as flexible as the smaller ones, which, especially if you are CRA, is very important for you. Out of these 3 models of SMO that I have described to you, I would definitely go for the dedicated research sites, such as Pratia. You can check it out, because they have dedicated personnel and they are really directly focused on their clinical trials in their sites, which for me as a CRA or as a CRO is a good thing. So the second model of site management organization as a CRA or as a CRO I would definitely go for is the one I have started working with in 2015. The smaller regional-based SMOs, which are sending out the coordinators to the sites. So these are, for example, in Slovakia, Slovak Research Center. Great guys, I have been working with them since 2015 and they are delivering perfect services. Also, Czech Research Center, with whom I have been working also in the past 5 years. And in terms of Bulgaria, I see here in Bulgaria 2 very good and potential site management organizations. The number one would be R&D services. The second one would be clinic design, with whom I have been working in past. And I forgot to mention, and this is very important, in Bulgaria, in Sofia, the specialized dedicated research center Synexus. If you decide to go forward with a multinational SMO, then I would just advise you to be aware of how their operational structure is created, how they are structured, and how they work. Before signing anything with this kind of structure, make sure you are aware of their operational procedures. So these were the examples of the site management organizations that are based in Europe. Now we'll be talking a little bit about what is happening in the United States. In December 2020, I had a chance to meet Kit Fern virtually from Eligo. And we were talking a lot about what Eligo is doing and how they are supporting the sites. And he shared with me a very interesting model of the support of the site, and indeed they are getting in the sphere of site management organization. However, they started with supporting the sites digitally throughout their platform, which I find very amazing, because as a difference you can see that sites in Europe, they are providing either research facilities for the investigators or the study coordinators for administrative support. Whereas in the United States, the site management and the study coordinators have absolutely different role. So for example, Eligo, they started with the support from the software. So every single site that joins the Eligo platform, they get access to the electronic system. And the last thing I would like to mention before we end up this video is also the experience from the principal investigators. Throughout the past 5 years, since I was working with site management organization, I had also chance to ask PIs what is their experience. And 99% of investigators, when they start working with site management organization, they are pretty much satisfied. If you like my content about practical experience in clinical trials, please subscribe to this channel or share and like my videos. I will be posting more topics about clinical trials and the practical perspective in the upcoming weeks. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. Visit our website, write me an email or comment the video below. I am David Rosenbaum and this is Rosenbaum Group.